Afraid of being alone? This video was inspired by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and it talks about how isolation activates powerful self-healing. Do you feel isolated, lonely, and forgotten by God, praying desperately for answers? But what if this isolation isn't God abandoning you at all? What if He's actually preparing you for something far greater than you could ever imagine? Remember, you are born spiritual. You cry out to God asking, why this loneliness? Why this isolation? Why this unbearable emptiness? When it feels like God has abandoned you, He is actually preparing you. Before blessing you, God isolates you to remove distractions and prepare you for greater purpose. There comes a time when everything familiar shifts. Trusted people fade away, opportunities vanish, and you find yourself in solitude, questioning everything. This is when doubt creeps in and you wonder if God hears your prayers. But what if isolation isn't rejection but preparation? God isolates you not to harm you, but to prepare you for something significant. He clears distractions, relationships that drain you, validation from others, comfort over growth, so your heart aligns fully with Him. Many miss their breakthroughs because they won't let go of what's holding them back. In isolation, God teaches you to trust Him alone. Without others' support or familiar paths, you're forced to rely on God. Your faith is tested most when you believe in His plan despite seeing only emptiness. God strengthens you in these moments, molding you for the next stage. Every blessing carries responsibility. Premature blessings can overwhelm you. Consider biblical examples. Joseph was isolated in a pit before reaching the palace. Moses spent years in the wilderness before leading Israel. David hid in caves before becoming king. Isolation builds character. It removes pride, teaches obedience, and strips away self-sufficiency. God wants you to be able to sustain your blessings, and that requires preparation. Resisting the process prolongs it. Reaching back for lost relationships or missed opportunities delays progress. Surrender is key. When you embrace your current season, you allow God to refine your heart, sharpen your vision, and strengthen your faith. Waiting isn't wasted. Silence isn't meaningless. God is working unseen, preparing something greater. Delays are often divine timing, and you'll later understand the necessity of isolation. Everything removed from your life is making space for greater blessings. Don't lose hope. God isn't punishing you, He's positioning you. Stay patient and faithful, trusting that your blessing will come. Every great figure has faced isolation before breakthrough. True greatness isn't built in comfort. God separates people to prepare them for their destiny's weight. Joseph dreamed of greatness but was betrayed, sold into slavery, and imprisoned. While everything seemed lost, God was preparing him to lead Egypt. Moses, raised in luxury, spent 40 years in wilderness solitude before leading his people, learning humility, patience, and reliance on God. Even Jesus endured isolation in the wilderness, fasting and being tested. If Jesus faced isolation before fulfilling His purpose, we cannot expect to skip it. Isolation isn't God forgetting you, it's Him preparing you. People struggle in this season because they misunderstand. Loss, rejection, and silence are not signs something is wrong, but rather something being set right. God removes people, closes doors, and shifts circumstances to align you with His purpose. If you embrace rather than resist this season, you'll emerge stronger, wiser, and ready for what's ahead. It's easy to envy others who seem to thrive, feeling left behind. But you're not being left behind, you're being set apart. Quick success without a strong foundation often collapses. God wants your blessing to be sustainable, so preparation is essential. Isolation means you're on the brink of breakthrough. The deeper the isolation, the greater the elevation. When refined, you'll be released into your destiny. Your breakthrough is nearer than you think. God builds a strong foundation in your life so you can sustain your blessing. Success, opportunities, and breakthroughs need deep foundations. Without them, they collapse under pressure. God removes weaknesses, temporary relationships, unsuitable opportunities to protect your future. What feels like rejection is often His protection. Closed doors aren't punishment, but safety from paths that wouldn't support your destiny. Building your foundation isn't comfortable. It involves trials, loneliness, and tests of faith. Yet each struggle strengthens and shapes you. Success brings pressure, responsibility, and influence. Only those refined through trials can handle them. God takes longer because He wants you prepared to sustain your blessing. Those rushing into success without preparation often crumble, making poor choices or losing their blessings. When God builds your foundation, you'll thrive in your blessing. The deeper your roots, the greater your capacity. People experiencing long waits receive deeper, lasting strength. Just as a tree grows roots before it grows tall, your unseen season builds foundational strength for future endurance. Embrace the process. Trust each delay, setback, or closed door as part of God's greater plan. Isolation is divine protection and redirection, not rejection. Losing relationships, closed doors, and loneliness aren't signs of abandonment, but protection. We often hold on to people, places, or opportunities never meant for our future. God sees what we cannot, the hidden intentions, dangers, and consequences, and removes what doesn't belong in our destiny. Painful endings are disguised new beginnings. God redirects us to better, even if we settle for less, out of familiarity or comfort. Abraham had to leave his homeland, trusting God to lead him into the unknown. Had he stayed, he'd never fulfill his destiny. God similarly shifts us, even when it doesn't make sense immediately. Isolation's pain is often elevation's price. We can't rise holding on to burdensome habits, relationships, or mindsets. God isolates you to prepare, not punish. Trusting God without understanding is challenging but essential. Surrendering to His greater plan means accepting that what He takes away, He replaces with better things. What feels like rejection is often protection. Apparent losses become redirections to your true calling. You're never alone, only guided towards something greater. The deeper your isolation, the higher your elevation. When set apart, God has purpose for your stillness. Seasons without progress, seeing others rise while you wait, can be painful and frustrating. Yet deep waiting seasons indicate significant callings. Higher callings demand deeper preparation. God prefers lasting impact over quick success. Fast risers often fall because they're unprepared. God's process ensures you'll remain strong when your time comes. Throughout history, great leaders experienced isolation before elevation. Joseph, Moses, even Jesus. Waiting seasons stripped pride and self-sufficiency, teaching endurance and trust. These lessons aren't learned comfortably, they require silence and waiting. Isolation refines your character and prepares you to handle blessings without breaking under their weight. Rushing ahead sabotages destiny, causing collapse under pressure. God takes His time, ensuring you'll not just receive, but sustain and expand your blessing. If you're in deep isolation, don't despair or compare your journey. Your waiting's depth is proportional to your future's magnitude. Remain patient and faithful. When your time arrives, you'll recognize each waiting moment's value. Your elevation won't be temporary. You'll rise to stay. I made this video because about 5 years ago, I went through a spiritual awakening. Unfortunately, during that time, I ended up burning bridges with many people close to me, my family, my friends, my community, and my religious organization. Nearly everyone who was once a part of my circle is no longer in my life. After several painful years of isolation and suffering, I finally found peace by turning to God through prayer, meditation, and simply asking for help. The hardest part of this whole journey was the impact it had on my 3 children. My eldest son got married, and I wasn't invited to the wedding. I also lost custody and visitation rights to my 2 younger daughters due to my anger and arrogance. The main reason I'm sharing this story is that I want you to learn from my mistakes rather than making your own. If you're currently experiencing a spiritual awakening and feel lost or alone, please let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions or need guidance, I'd love to help and support you. And of course, if you found value in this video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, click that bell icon, and share this video with someone else who might benefit. Your engagement means a lot. Not only does it encourage me personally, but it also helps the YouTube algorithm reach more people who are on their own path of spiritual awakening. Summary: if you're in a season of loneliness and isolation, remember, God isn't punishing you. He's preparing you for something greater. Isolation isn't rejection, it's divine protection, redirection, and preparation for your destiny. Trust God's process even when it's painful or unclear. Your waiting has purpose. Your struggles build strength. Stay patient, remain faithful, and embrace this season. When your moment finally arrives, you'll see clearly that every delay was divine timing, and every loss was making room for something far better. Your elevation won't be temporary. You'll rise prepared, strong, and ready to sustain the blessings God has for you. Remember, you are born spiritual. Now God wants you to watch the next video I've linked above. He also wants you to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone else who might benefit from the lessons shared here.